so wonderful. Music has benefits, I'm not your ordinary chick. I've got a lot of love to share with little short and nappy hair. Taking time to let you know I'm my own kind of beautiful. So get your sexy girl, don't you be ashamed.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jamila J Girl Talk on Father's Day. Can y'all see me? I'm sorry about this
I see
lighting.
you good.
It's okay, all right. So welcome to our show. And we're supposed to have a couple of more fathers come on here. If they come, they come. If they don't, we got one father. So, and of course, some mothers think that they believe that Father's Day is for them also. So we're just going to talk about Father's Day and what it means to us. And happy Father's Day. Lele, you want to introduce yourself? I know they know you, but you can introduce yourself, and then Melody introduce
Please
yourself,
let
and
me
we'll get it going.
introduce myself. My name is Delaney Johnson. Everybody know me by Lele. I'm the founder of 15 Dynasty. Miss Melanie.
Hello, and I'm Melody Bazemore out of Philadelphia, PA, and I was a single mom that was determined to change my life and my children's life by getting to be an entrepreneur. And that's why I'm here, because I did it by myself from two different men.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday my son got married, and
And
his biological father showed up with his other kids, and I guess his wife, and I didn't feel any kind of way, you know. But I did feel like my son turned out so good, and my mother and I and my dad raised my son, and I was just sitting there. It's like you don't get any credit. I mean, that's it, And I didn't have any animosity, but I was happy for my son because everybody was there for him to support him and love on him. So yeah, and that's what I got to say about raising kids and being a single mom, and when the kids turn out great. Shaq has a story about his dad. His stepfather raised him. So when he got to be a multimillionaire, that's still his dad. So, but anyway, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Thank
I
you.
want to talk a little bit about, go ahead, Lay.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, then I'll come right after you.
Okay. So I just want to talk a little bit about fathers and how important fathers are in the life of their children. But I want to talk about, first of all, our fathers. Lay, tell us about your father.
Well, can I just say something before we get into that?
Go ahead.
What's the definition of a father?
For me, I
Once
think,
once we know the definition of the
yeah,
father, then we know how to stay in the frame of speaking about a father.
I know what a father is not. I know a father is not just a sperm donor, but somebody that's going to be in their child's life, not only in the good times, but in the bad times. Not only birthdays and Christmases, child support is good, the money's good, but they need that balance to me, of a father and a mother, because one side leaves the child empty. That's my own personal opinion from my own kids. Maybe it's something missing in them when they don't have that father figure. It gotta be. God made men and women differently for a reason. And so a child has to have that balance. A mother is a nurturer and a giver. But sometimes, a man has to come in, and give that tough love. But to me, it's a balance. So what do you think, Melody?
I would say a father is a protector, a provider. He's the mentor. He's the head. He should be there to show a female how to be treated by a man. He should be there for his son to show him how to be a man. So a father is a very important role in our children's life because one thing for sure, two things for certain, I had one of those type of fathers. But I also
Mm,
believe doing through how our generation shift. I think somewhere between, I want to say, late 50s, early 60s to the mid 70s, 80s, the men stopped teaching the sons of, not all, but some, of how to really be a father when they become a father. So
mm.
I think a
Um,
father is important.
all
Yeah.
right.
Go
Let,
ahead.
can I this you definitely have a point there. But when I asked Jamila, what's the definition of a father? She said somebody so and so and so and so. Now, we have single households and we might have a father, then we might have a mother that taking care of her children and have to before the obligation to her ability, because we know a woman can't really be a man,
No.
but there's certain things that she could teach the child. And she fulfilling the obligation of a man and a woman. A father is somebody that carry out responsibility
Mhm.
as a man. So that means biologically, I don't have to be that child father, biological father, but I carry the responsibility as a
Yeah.
man to be that child father.
Just like Shaq dad did. A
Right.
lot of
That's
stepfathers
right.
come in and be the father.
Right.
You don't have to be a biological father. But what I said, I know what a father is not, and it's not a
Right.
sperm donor. You
Right.
just can't have a baby and walk away. That's not a father.
Right.
That's not a father. So that's what I said.
Yeah. Well,
In
I'm
terms
saying that
of,
to say we have a lot of women carrying the responsibility of what a man should be doing.
yeah, yeah,
So, like I tell a lot of people, my opinion, a woman don't really need to work because she work 24/7 if she have kids.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's for sure.
Mhm.
That's
That's
a
for sure.
job. Could you
Yeah.
imagine a woman going to work, coming home, taking care of the child? Man, men
Yeah.
don't even
It
do
don't
that.
stop. It don't stop. It don't stop.
Right,
You go when my kids were little, I used to take them to preschool. They would be the first ones there, like 6:30, and the last ones to leave because I had to take them to preschool so I can get to work on time. And I had to work extra hard. I felt that I had to be the first ones there and always, make sure everything was in order before I left. So therefore, my kids spent a lot of time, in preschool and after school care. So I mean, no, it don't stop. It really with the mother, it don't stop. So ladies, when you decide to have babies and do and open your legs, you have to be thinking about number one, this, the dad may be there, the dad may not be there. So it's on you. Period. It's on you.
Mhm.
Melody, what do you say? What do you have to say?
Absolutely. And that's why right now we're going through that wave versus road. It's so important that we do have control over our bodies because I can
Mhm.
be very transparent. When I got pregnant with my third pregnancy, I had two children by the first man, and I kind of knew at that point I didn't really want to have any more children out of wedlock. We lived together, we played house, but we didn't do it on paper.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
then, when that relationship, being a teenage to a young 20-year-old relationship, ended, and I was just really going back out into the world. Actually, I had never been a teenager because I had a
Wow.
child so young. I had my first kid at 16. So
Wow.
at 22, 23, when we finally broke up and I was back in the world and I started dating, I had no intentions on having any more children. So being a not a promiscuous woman, so when you meet someone, and that was my partner, so I just kept
Mhm.
dealing with this guy, and next thing you know, say 2 years went on, 3 years, now I wound up pregnant. So I thought
Wow.
I was going to make the choice to not to have the child. Well, I wound up in an abortion clinic finding out that I was pregnant with twins. So
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
But that's where
Oh,
I say God is funny, because I knew that my morals wouldn't let me go through with those procedures. So when I left there with that picture of baby A and baby B, I knew that when I made the decision to bring those two in the world, it probably was going to be on me. I knew the man that I was laying with. I
yeah.
knew his background. I kind of figured out already that he may not be the best father. And honestly, he tried. He loved his boys, don't get me wrong, but he didn't give up maybe that street life that he was living. So
Yeah.
he wound up not even being around due to being incarcerated. So that's where you do need to think about these things, because look at that situation. And being a God fearing person, even though I thought I was strong enough to go through an abortion, morally I couldn't be having
Yeah.
pregnant with twins. So now I have 28-year-old twins, but at the same token, not never being mad, because see, it takes two. It's not
Yeah.
on one person.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hold yourself accountable in the decisions you made. So that's why I had no problem with letting my children be around their family, being around, because see, at the end of the day, they need to know where they came from, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, because that's going to give them and let them know what type of woman you are, how you play. Like I can say my four grown sons right now, because I had all boys, so it was very challenging. And I was a
Wow.
hairstylist. So at a certain age, the streets even started pulling on my kids. But the
Yeah.
morals and the things that I set from the beginning has pushed through and overrode those bad things. And now I can
Wow.
say they're good fathers. They like right yesterday was so funny. I had three of my grandchildren because my son was like, "Can you just sit with them so I can make a run?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, something ain't right. This Father's Day weekend. Why ain't they with their mamas? Like you supposed to have a break, not grandma." But
Yeah.
when you have children, grands, your life keep going. But because they are good fathers, because they do spend a lot of time with their children, I will step in to give them a 5-minute break. But
Yes.
gotta be, willing to look at yourself and say, where did I go wrong and how can I make this better?
Yeah. I want to go back to that question because I don't know if it's a correlation or not, or if it's just society. And I want to go back to our fathers. And I can say that my father was always around, he was always, I think my parents got separated or divorced when I was maybe 13 or 14, but daddy came by every day, you
Mhm.
know. And so he was a father. he my father loved women. So he loved women, and he took care of us. And and he would come by every day and check on us, but my mom just gave him his freedom. You love women, go do what you do. But he was still a father. I have to give it to daddy. I look back on it, that because I didn't figure this out until after he died. When my dad was like 12 or 13, my grandmother left him on his own. So
Yeah.
he had to figure stuff out real fast. And
Mhm.
I think he was always looking for that female, even not affection, but just that female attention. Because his grandmother, Big Mama, he was on his own. and that he was in Arkansas, and he had to come, and I guess she just left him, and she came to California. I guess she had my aunties, and but he got to California in some way somehow to reunite with her. But that's probably devastating for even a teenager. And maybe, and I just thought about it. Maybe he was just looking for that female attention and love and acceptance in all these different women. So, Lay, tell us about your dad.
Well, my dad, I think him and my mom got divorced when I was young. And my mom's got with my stepfather about 5 years after.
Hmm.
But my dad was always in my life.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on, what he did. Um, he sent us in the South because my father's from the South, my mother's from the North.
Hmm.
So he wanted us to know both sides of the family. And he sent us down there, and he took care of us the whole nine. 5 years later, we come back. You know, he basically was orchestrating everything. He would come,
Hmm.
on the holidays and stuff like that because he owned a bar in Harlem.
Hmm.
And we used to go to his house the whole night. But he was definitely in our life. Then we had our stepfather that was more closer
Hmm.
because we lived together. We would go camping and we would go to different places, so and so and so and so. So, I could say I have two men in my life.
Hmm. Melody.
That's awesome. I was fortunate. My parents was married until the day my father passed away. They
Wow.
was married over 50 something years, but they were in a second marriage. My father was 11 years older than my mother. My
Hmm.
father was a municipal guy. He worked for the fire department here in Philadelphia, one of the first black firemen here in our city. So he always had purpose. But one thing, he was from what we call South Philly. So he wasn't like no nerd type of guy. So when he put his foot down, he put his foot down. I mean, my whole block growing up at 10 o'clock, Mr. Bazemore was out the window like, shut that noise up. Everybody chilled and got on the steps so we wouldn't have to go in the house, right? So
Wow.
he, to me, used to be stern. Like I honestly can say, I was scared. So can you
Right.
imagine when I got pregnant? That
Oh,
was
wow.
not
16.
well. It took. I
Six.
was. I was just about ready to deliver. If I could have went the whole pregnancy without showing, I was too scared to tell my father. I was the
Wow.
youngest. They put me in Catholic school, so I was the one supposed to do all the right things, but I was the one
Yes.
everything what I wanted to do because I just think, this is why I say generations, things change. My older brother and sister, they listened to everything. I was too adventurous. I wanted to see what's going on over here. What's going so
Yeah.
being young, they also let me go so many places. I was so just adventurous that it was like, okay, y'all open me up to this, to that. So I didn't have that structure. I just knew I was smart because I have a
Mm.
photogenic memory. So school
Wow.
wasn't hard for me. So I would do my work and let's get in trouble. But I would say being a firefighter, being municipal, I did see a man take care of a woman. And I think
Yeah.
having that is what made me so like from early on being dedicated to my gentleman because I felt like this is what a wife does. So what you
Mm.
see in your home really affects your life. So as I started dating myself, I never could find a real man like my father because times had changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I just think that all everybody, men and women, do need a father figure, whether it's your biological or someone that steps in, because it changes your directory, especially for us women. We need
Yeah.
to see what a man should be. Like I get on my sons, like You will not. And I'm honest with them. If you're disappointing me, I'm going to let you know, like, I didn't raise you like that, because I had to go from being so adventurous to being more understanding, strong. You know how many times I had to go to a playground and act like a dude and yo, y'all, we ain't doing this, and all that. But I was that mom that I wasn't going to just let my kids get lost out there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I can admit my generation being mid 60s to the 70 mothers, you know, a lot of those got caught up on drugs. You know,
yeah, yeah. The crack era.
yep,
Yeah,
mothers wasn't the best either. I had
right.
these 20 young men that will still call me ooms and mom, because when they came to my house, I made it feel like a home. And
Yeah,
if you're there too late, we need to call your mother and find out why you even allowed to be at my house this late. So that's why
right.
we as people have to take responsibility, so that we can't just say, oh, the father wasn't here and blame him,
Hmm.
or the mother
Right,
wasn't here and blame her, because our children all are emotional connected, just like the stuff that I go through even now and I think about, because me and my sister are 7 years apart. We think differently. She look at
hmm,
me like I'm the one that got away with everything, where she couldn't. So even at a grown relationship, it's tricky, So
yeah, yeah.
I think we got to be willing to teach these boys, especially now with everything that's going on across the country. Play your part, stand up,
Mhm.
and some of us women, being a hairstylist majority in my life, I can speak for women, because some of us is crazy, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm looking. I just gotta be honest.
Okay. Yeah, that's
That
it's
even my
true. It's
children,
true.
yeah, my children's moms, and I'm like, we in 2022. How do you think one income going to take care of you, and you're two by my son and you're two by somebody else? Y'all not, stop it. And
Yeah.
see, they don't like me because I'm gonna keep it real and raw. My
Right.
son went to jail. You dated somebody came straight out of jail. I don't care if he my son or your son. Who are you to want to date somebody straight out of jail that you don't know? It's a difference if you knew somebody beforehand.
Right. Right.
You went
Right.
through that with them and whatever.
Hmm.
Halfway house, you meet him and you in love. But me being a real woman, ask her, is this what you do? Are you one of them pen pal people? Like, and you had kids, so why would you want to bring him around? And my son, a good guy, he got caught up
Right.
in nonsense. It wasn't about that. It's just about what are you? How do you look for someone? What you
Yeah.
looking for? Oh, you thought he was going to be a drug boy? You thought whatever you heard from the
Hmm.
past, so you wanted a fast life. But see, now
Right.
he changed. One time he straightened up fast.
Yeah.
You do 22 and 2 and all that kind of stuff. Some people change, some don't, but he did
Right.
because he went
He
young.
did.
So my
Yeah.
point is,
You
you
got
know,
to look in the mirror at
you
yourself.
have
I know
and
what you're saying. You
can't
have
keep
to look in the mirror at yourself.
and don't make excuses for your children, because
No.
then you're not holding them accountable. Because I go back and forth with people that supposed to be on my level and say, okay, that's your daughter. Let's talk, because we got grandchildren now, and my concern ain't about my son or her. It's about those two kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
with that being said, I want to talk to who's in charge. But when I realized they have that same mindset as the child, oh, I see where it came from. So y'all looking for
Wow.
you looking for a man that do everything, a sucker. No,
Hmm.
relationships is about partnership,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's what needs
Yeah,
to
you
be.
know what? Listen, I am so glad you spoke on that there. Listen, um, like I tell a lot of sisters, I said, wait a minute. Um, things is not like they used to be.
Mm.
Mhm.
A lot of people been in the streets and stuff like that. But as time changed, people change.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least the majority of them will change.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
things is not the same no more.
Mhm.
Now we working in the system.
Yeah.
Everybody get a check. and these girls looking for these guys that um, that they want to see 30, 40,000 in their pocket. I said, listen, I had to tell some sisters. I say, listen, I don't carry money like that. I carry plastic.
Mm.
Anybody that carry money like that, something's wrong.
Yeah.
One,
Yes.
yeah.
I said, I can
New day.
promise you two things. They said, what you can promise me? That I'm not going to jail and you won't be able to miss me.
Absolutely.
So if you
I
want,
wanna make a correlation between our fathers, um, and how we not for us, Melody, but like how you fathered your children as a man. Did you follow what your dad and your stepdad kind of how they raised you? Did you kind of follow that mold?
well, and I was going to expound on this. Um, Growing up and learning come within the house. So if you get trained in the house, that's going to coincide out of the house. And a lot of time, a lot of people don't get trained in the house. So this is where you have a lot of problems at. See what happened with me, what I learned is when my father sent me down south.
Hmm.
When he sent me down south, my aunt, I was working on the shrimp docks when I was about 14, 15. I was cutting grass 14, 15, 10. I was folding clothes. I was making beds. So as I got older, I knew how to do all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it helped me through life.
Mm.
So this is what I'm saying. It came within the house. When I learned how to pray, I learned down south with my aunt. It was 6 of us. And she taught all of us.
So the things you learned from your father, did you pass it on to your children?
Well,
And
I haven't learned too much from my father.
mm,
You know what I
okay.
mean? My father wasn't in my presence like my stepfather was. Now, what I have learned from my stepfather, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had a
And
But
button.
like
Melody?
I said, my aunt taught me everything.
Yeah.
And this is like I'm saying, um, a woman sometimes take the place of a man also. You
Hmm.
know, it's certain things you really can't teach a man, but you could go to a certain point.
Absolutely. Like being having to be a mother and a father, at a certain point is only but much you can do. Once they get to those
Right.
teenage years, because now they looking at you like my mom been struggling to take care of me. So their mind starts shifting how they want to become men. So
Hmm.
what I tried to do is keep them involved in sports with, a lot of coaches and mentors and stuff like that
Yeah.
around them. But even with that, when you're a single mom and you working so much, you don't know who's influencing your children when you're not around.
That's
Um,
right.
I always had like family day babysitters and stuff like that, so they would be at home. They really didn't stay at other people's houses like that. But at the same token, you need that male role model, especially if you're a young man, somewhere in your life. And that's the only thing I regret, because I think the difference in our fathers is that even if they didn't make it with their loved one or their wife, the woman they had the child with, they still came around, they still provided. The next
They
generation
did.
can't
Yep, they did. Yep,
do. They
absolutely.
got mad at the woman that could go on, and I felt like even with my oldest two children, their father resented that I moved on. I
Yeah.
think So he had me so young that I would go through those trials and tribulations. But see, that's another thing. Our mothers was raised to be wives. They
Yeah.
were raised to accept the man as long as he took care of home and the
Mhm.
nonsense stayed outside the house. They was okay with that, you know.
Yeah.
But we came from the liberal women. Oh no, we got rights, and you ain't gonna do this. I can get my own money. So
Yeah.
as things changed, that's what really started affecting our children because depending what type of woman or man you was, because we got single fathers now, you know. I've
Yeah.
never seen so many single fathers, even though I see why, because these women, these younger women is watching too many reality shows and think like, you know,
Mhm.
that somebody just gonna pull up on the yacht and say, boo, I got
Yeah.
that's
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
unrealistic, you know, but that's what they sitting and waiting for. And I
Yeah.
keep
You're
saying,
right.
you know, inflation and everything. How do you afford eyelashes, $400 bundles? You know, like I'm confused these days. I mean,
You're right, Melody.
I'm
You're right.
money and all that, but
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right.
even see it because you know somewhere you're supposed to learn from, you know, your trials and tribulations. I'm not going to call them mistakes, but when you have a bump in the road, they're supposed to teach you something. The
Yes.
time I had them twins, I wasn't at Macy's, I was at Marshall's. You know what I'm saying? At
Mhm.
16 to 18, I was dumb. I wanted the best for my kids, but I was broke and trying to
Yeah.
get a check. So, you know, we got to change and shift people mindset of you're responsible when you bring these children in the world to at least give them a hope, a plan. You know,
Yeah.
it's called generational wealth. We supposed to leave something to the children so the children can leave to their children and go further and further. We should not be the only nationality that always got to fight and stop speaking to our siblings because somebody died and nobody put the paperwork in order. And you know, dad said this or dad other kids that come out because like in back in the day it was a lot of secrets. I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even oops brother after my father died couldn't even deny the boy looked just like us.
Yeah.
You know
How
then
did I want to go back to my question I asked Lay? How did your father y- the affect the way you raised your boys? The way you were raised? Did it
yeah
have any
yeah
correlation?
morals, made sure they was in sports, having to come in at a certain time. The things that was he laid on
Structure.
us, you know, just having rules. And my father lived to be 87, and I
Mhm.
remember at a point where it was school time, say late August, he would be the first one to come over and drop off a bag of underwear,
Yeah.
socks,
Yeah.
underwear, and t-shirts. You know,
Mhm.
basic stuff. People don't think about that, but you know how much help that was. But that was
Yeah.
a strong man making sure no matter what, his grandchildren was gonna have fresh stuff for the school.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
stuff like that. I see me doing now, being a grandmother. You know,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I buy the important things because I learned through being young and dumb. I'm not wasteful anymore.
All
So
right.
they probably get mad at me. I don't do the birthday gifts and stuff because I already know y'all went overboard. If you spent
Mhm.
$500 for the event for a 1 year old, that's not even including decorations that he's not going to remember. I'm the
Yeah.
one that need to be buying him some stocks and bonds. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Mutual funds.
yeah, I think what he installed in me, I'm trying to put back in them. And he
Good.
was a big role model for my boys. So I think that helped them as well.
Wow. I have a couple of comments out there, guys. We have Sky Darling. She's saying hello to everybody.
Yes,
The
guys.
Queen of Financial Literacy, Coach Melody. Hey, Sky. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see what else. Let me see. She has some other things that she just wants to tell everybody that she's watching. She's enjoying the show. She's glad we're back. So we're glad to be back. Um, my next question is, I was listening to the radio yesterday, and a guy was talking about, well, Father's Day don't get enough recognition like Mother's Day. That was the first thing he said. And the second thing he said was, some women feel like they deserve to be recognized on Father's Day. So let's start with the first comment. Like, what do you think about Father's Day not getting enough recognition compared to Mother's Day? What do you got to
I
say?
agree.
Hmm.
I agree. And I definitely agree. A lot of sisters should be recognized also. I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
Hmm.
Um, just like I say, I tell a lot of people, and I tell my children also, I said, don't celebrate me no one time a year. I'm a father 24/7.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I understand you want to celebrate this year because this is what's going on. But I want you to understand when you get to be a mother and you get to be a father, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's not one day a year.
Yeah. Do you feel that Father's Day get the same recognition as Mother's Day?
I really don't know, but
Mm,
I know that for my mother kids or my mother, I will celebrate theirs before I celebrate mine. Because,
mm,
the woman is the key to life.
yes, yes, we are.
You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
If they understand and know that a woman is responsible for a child and the father to a certain age, but the woman is the one going to be doing the most nurturing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a woman's Mother's Day should be celebrate more.
Mm. What do you
That's
think,
just what.
Melody?
Well, I do think Mother's Day gets more attention than Father's Day. Um, as far as commercializing it, they
Yeah.
get about the same. Unfortunately, I do feel like I'm a mom. Even though I did some dad roles, I don't need to be celebrated as a mother and a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want them to understand women should be mothers, men should be
Mm,
men, because I think a lot of things is confusion because, everybody want to just be it and all this nonsense. We need to stick to the basics and let men know they are the father. They supposed to be the strength of the family.
yeah.
They supposed to guide, but we are in times where we got to do it together and partner, like I said. But we should celebrate our men a little bit more so they can be appreciated. That's all. Because I think sometimes, just being a human being emotionally, sometimes you got that one guy out there trying to do everything and nobody even says Happy Father's Day. And that's cruel because a
Yeah.
lot of the women don't make their children be responsible. Like, we laid down with them. Take
Yep.
accountability. If
Yeah,
if
but
he ain't right here,
Don't remind me.
no,
I
no,
mean,
I
if they're in
completely
their life,
understand
if they're
that.
in their life,
Don't
if you're not
remind me.
around, that's different. But if they, like I had baby days side come to the playground, so they start building their own relationship at
Mhm.
teenagers. As long as you're not influencing them to do anything wrong, we good with that. You don't got to see
Right.
us is over, but you
Yeah,
should
but
need to be in their life.
yeah, I understand that a man's supposed to be a man and doing his responsibility, and a woman's supposed to be doing their responsibility. But the key word is supposed to be. But we dealing in reality. A woman
Absolutely.
is doing two jobs.
Yeah.
Some men's is doing two jobs.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we dealing with
Having kids
what
is
it is.
having two jobs,
Yeah.
it don't stop. But the guy that was on the radio today, he it was the tonality of the conversation is, some women have the audacity to celebrate, Father's Day, and men don't get enough recognition. But in terms of the media, they can make more, like you said, Melody, they can make more out of Mother's Day, you go out on Mother's Day, everything is booked up, crowded. Oh, take your wife out or take your mother out on Mother's Day because she cooks every day. This is her special day. So it's more commercialized. But I think you have a dad that's alive, pick up the phone and say, happy Father's Day. That doesn't take much. But I
No.
think, you know, it is Mother Day is more of a moneymaker for marketing. That's all it is. It doesn't mean that, men are not loved as much um, as women, but we love our men. But
Well,
Macy's going to have a sale. Nordstrom's is going to have a Mother's Day sale. It's just more money. All the restaurants are going to have a special buffet, a special spread for Mother's Day. Where's the buffet for men? Maybe there's a void in the market. Maybe in LA, maybe you can, when you
well,
open up your restaurant, your business, you can have a special day for Father's Day. And it shouldn't be just one day when they say, oh, it's Father's Day. It should be every day that we love and appreciate ourselves, and we have to do it for one another. And then the other point is, women celebrating Father's Day. If you feel like you want to celebrate Father's Day, more power to you. If that makes you happy, I didn't raise my kids and I'm the mom and the father. Okay, it make you happy. I'm happy too. Different strokes for different folks. But, with that being said, a woman can never replace a father, and a woman can never raise a man, you know?
and I agree 100%. But you know what? Coming from a man point of view, you know, I'd rather not be celebrated
Mm,
because I'm a man. I'm very secure and confident in myself. Long as my wife, my girlfriend, my fiance happy, I'm happy.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? That's the way I work. If I go and buy some furniture and I got my wife, my fiance, or my girlfriend with me, if a salesperson come to me, I will ask them, "What you coming to me for?" No, you need to go to her.
that's
Because if
right.
she tell me to buy this, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because when I come home, all I want to do is be happy, sleep, eat, and have a good time. But if she's not happy, I'm not going to be happy.
that's true.
That's the way
Me
it
and take
goes.
notes.
So
That's
don't
true. That's
celebrate
true.
me.
Just
Let's
cut
celebrate
the
the
chase right
mother.
there.
Let's celebrate the mother because the
Yeah,
mother is bringing the child in the world. You know how painful that is? The
yeah,
mother is
we know.
nurturing the child 24/7. The mother is working.
Yeah.
Then she coming home working.
Yep.
Don't celebrate me.
Wow.
Celebrate her. If you celebrate her, I am happy. Cause she happy.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly where I was going to go. I think it's not that fathers are not celebrated. Fathers is good with the Happy Father's Day. Give me a card. Give me my
That's it.
cigar. I want the day off. If anything, they don't want to be
Yeah.
16 deep going to the restaurant.
That's right.
Right.
That
Yeah.
that's not a man's thing, not a real man. A strong man, they just
Exactly.
like, look, me and the boys gonna take a ride. We're gonna go play with some antique cars. Whatever it is that
Right.
floats their boat, they rather have
Right.
that freedom. So I definitely agree with you there, Delaney, that I think we get caught up because it does go back to commercial. It goes back to
Right.
All it
capitalism.
is. Yeah.
Everything is about how to use something to make money off of it. And
Right.
those bullheaded women that, like I agree with you, Jamila, that of course, if you want to celebrate Father's Day because you did this a long time by yourself, I agree. But you know
Yeah.
what? Right there is like, I get Mother's Day. Why would I do that to my children? Be like, oh, you better give me a card. I was your father too. We not
Nah.
doing that. We not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I just, appreciate that y'all grown and maybe don't call my phone. You know,
Wait a minute.
All right.
Wait a minute. Are you in financial literacy coach or are you a rapper also? Huh? No, man.
I'm just down to earth.
Do
I'm
we
down to
have
earth,
to,
and
do
I
we
feel
have
like
to add that to your resume?
Uh,
I just
you
really
do it all, like you said, it don't stop.
Mhm. We gotta be transparent because these youngins ain't gonna get it if we keep fluffing and buffing. They gotta know we've been
Right.
there. You know, we ain't get where we got without experience. You know, so I like to joke because if we keep making everything so serious, we all be all tied up and. Look, we got enough
Yeah.
going on the outside. I live in Philadelphia. They call it Philadelphia. You know, I
Yeah.
never would think I would be scared to go to an ATM and try to get back to the car. You know, this world is
Wow.
getting crazy, and this is why
It really is.
shows like this to show that it starts at home.
It does.
Hey, Mother's Day, what's happening in these homes that these kids is just so free with these guns? And I mean, our city is suffering with 13, 14 year olds. I mean, they really out here being violent. No, but that
Yeah.
shows where is the mother, where's the
It was
father?
the father.
What
Yeah.
are we putting into our children?
Yeah, we got some comments. And Sky said her papa was a father 24/7. And September Rain says, "Good afternoon. Hey, September. How you doing?
September
Happy
rain.
Father's Day." So we do have some people out there. They're making comments. I wish I could, it'll come on the screen, but I'm watching it on my phone for now. I just, this is the conversations I like, and I did a new intro. Let me play it for you guys, okay? Let me know what you think. Hold on. Let's see. I did this. I think I did this today. Let's see if this is it. What you guys think?
Nice, nice, little sexy there, get a little sexy.
I was working on it. I have to put I got to get my music back on there, but it's like, let me try to do a little something, something.
Oh,
What
that
you
was
think,
nice.
Clay?
That was nice there.
Okay. I try to do, I'm a jack of all trades, so I just keep trying till I get it right. Sky Darling said, listen, listen. I say, I say, listen to Lady Johnson Lele. This is God. Just tell everybody to listen to you. Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is a great topic. So yeah,
Good.
this is a good show. This is a good show on Father's Day. Like, what is your definition of father? Being a father? Did you tell us?
My father, my definition of a father, any man that could carry on a responsibility of a family.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay.
Good
I
answer.
mean, that's just the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to be the biological father. You know, you have the responsibility of a man or a father should have been handling,
Mhm.
but you doing it, and you're not the father biologically, but you are the father because you carrying out the responsibility of a man.
Yeah.
And
So
came
do you? Oh,
his,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Melody.
I was just gonna say that came from his fathers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that's what strong men did. They didn't
Mhm.
wait for somebody. They'd be like, that little wimp, he can keep on going. That's my baby. I got that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Right.
of men in my family, like we didn't even know some of them wasn't blood related because they was raised so closely, just like they were, and that's a real man doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I just think as a society, if you listen to the statistics, it says, oh, there's not a lot of black men in the home. But I think that, I mean, the other way around. If you listen to just conversation, all the black men this, the black man that, but there's a lot of single black men without any children, and there's a lot of black men now that are stepping up to their responsibilities.
Yes, there's a
No,
lot of them that are
yeah,
and raising their kids as single fathers. That's why I said they need to be celebrated as well because
yes,
people talk about, when the mom runs off,
yeah, yeah.
because I didn't believe that, I probably should have been the one that ran off, but I didn't. But
Ah,
I didn't know those choices was
you
out
can, you, but you don't have that heart, you
there.
know.
And I didn't know
Yeah,
those,
you gotta like, how
you
can you leave
know,
your babies?
oh
You
yeah,
know,
like as much
yeah,
as I didn't plan it, I think I was a little tomboyish. So I
right,
was like, wow, but that's a whole nother story. But women do.
yeah,
Women have done it and they continue to do that. So we have to acknowledge and praise those guys that stand up or come that stepdad, take on a woman that has 2 and 3 kids and step in and really, have a relationship with the kids, not just being one of the kids,
right, another kid.
right, being the man in the house. And that's the definition of a man, taking on responsibilities, head in the household.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's well said. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Lay, that I haven't mentioned? Winding down.
Well, I think that for a lot of things to change with men's and also women's, we have to understand who we are, where we come from, where we at now, and where we going.
Mhm.
Because everything start within ourselves. If we know our abilities, then we know what we could do.
Hmm.
If we don't know our abilities, we wouldn't know anything. We will be in a state of ignorance, which is we playing out now.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Is
know,
there any advice that you would give young fathers?
yes, definitely. My first advice would find God in their life. My second advice, to find out who they are. Because once you know who you are, there's nobody could come and tell you anything.
Mhm.
You have to know the bloodline where you come from. You know, it's just like I'm gonna use a prime example. When I started my companies, I started 2, 3 companies, and people was telling me, "Yo, you can't do that. How you gonna do that? How you gonna do 2, 3 companies?" You know what I told them? Don't tell me what I could do.
Mhm.
Tell yourself what you cannot do.
Hmm.
Because by you telling me what I can't do, in reality, you telling yourself what you cannot do.
Wow.
Because if you know the history, and I always tell a person the history of the pharaoh, because according to history, everything started from them.
Mhm.
The pharaoh always had people, knowledgeable people around them,
Hmm.
at least about 10 advisors, the whole nine, or maybe more. Each person, if you want to put them in this time and this day, all of them was professors in different fields, 3 different fields.
Mhm.
So if you got 10 of them and all of them got 3 doctor's degrees,
Mm.
And you got the Pharaoh, and he handling all of them. You cannot tell me what I can't do.
Yeah. All right.
This is
What
what we
about
come.
you, Miss Melody? Do you have any last words, any advice for new fathers, whatever order you want to say it?
Yes, I'll just thankful and grateful to be invited to your show. And
Oh yes,
also,
ma'am.
for young dads, it's not going to be easy, but be involved. That's
Yeah.
part of you. Love on it, educate it, and make sure you give your seed the wings to spread,
Mhm.
because you got involved and you left something behind. So it's your responsibility as a man to show them right, because we need our men, and it changes your life as well. It matures you being a father. Watching each and every one of my sons, well, 3 out of 4 have children, to see them interact with their children, it's amazing. you
Mm.
know and I see it changing them for the better, because now they're going to, like, I hear their conversations, like they don't want to be in the streets, like,
Mm.
we fall back now. Matter of fact, I got called one of my like sons today, because he just became a father, and we ain't seen him in a month. He on the
Wow.
grill, he becoming a father, a family man.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's not corny. Just be a good dad. It wins at the long run.
Yeah.
That's right.
That
It's not
that's
20 at all.
awesome. That's awesome. Lay, what you said something that I was doing the show in Oakland, and I don't know the actor's name, but he was on Soul Food, and now he's on that Family Business on BET. I don't know his name. You guys can Google him.
Oh, did you see
But
Family
he,
Business?
yeah, he's the brother. The the brother, but he was on Soul Food too. But we did a show with him in Oakland, and what he said, and I never forgot this. He said, "I surround myself with people smarter than me." And when you talked about the pharaohs, I thought about what he said. You ain't the smartest cookie in the jar. There's always people that are more knowledgeable than you, and somebody you can always learn from. So that's what I thought about when you talked about the pharaohs, and
And
maybe
that's
that's
what
what the pharaohs
Obama did.
do.
That's what Obama did.
Mm,
Mhm.
Like
yeah.
I told people, if you compare Obama administration with everybody else's, you will see a difference.
Mm,
What he done, if the majority of the people that working in this administration had a what you call them degree, a liberal arts degree.
mm-hmm.
Bush administration had business degrees.
Mhm.
The reason why Obama picked people that had liberal arts degree because they more flexible.
Mm-hmm.
A person with a liberal arts degree, you could take them out of here and put them in there, they will adjust. Take them out
Yeah.
of there, put them in there, they will adjust. I went to school for liberal arts when my professor, no, when the director of the college wanted me to go for a liberal arts degree.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew why until I did the studying on it.
Mm.
Because she wanted me to be flexible in society
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you
and
got
it
to
helped
take a
me
little
out a
bit of
whole lot.
everything. You got
Right.
to take a lot of
Right.
different
Be
classes in
well
everything.
rounded.
Yeah, yeah. I think lawyers have to take liberal arts, I think, like
No,
undergrad. Who,
no, they don't.
who?
Psychology.
Oh, psychology.
Yeah. Because I was gonna go to University of California for a JD degree.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, liberal arts is very flexible. But,
Very
an hour has passed. I know it's Father's Day, and there's things to do, and, you
People
know,
to celebrate some of these good men
celebrate,
and celebrate
with
today.
Yeah.
Yes,
So my son is having.
Miss Melody is definitely delighted to meet you. We
Thank
didn't,
you.
I wanted to get in the area of financial literacy, but I'm hoping that Jamila will bring you back on so we could get into, how we
She's
gonna
been on before, Lay. She's been on before. She
this
just looked different.
did we speak
But she
about?
can. She
Oh
has
my
a
God!
home here.
Wait a
She
minute!
can come back anytime.
Wait a minute, man! Listen, I
She's
didn't
been on
even recognize her.
before.
And one
Yes,
thing, I don't forget her face. I don't know how I forgot about you.
That's because
she
this here is pulled back, looking a little crazy today. Usually
she's
I have
so
full-
natural.
We
But
we
you
gotta
know,
we
Melody,
we
you know
gotta
you have
spend
a
some
home.
time. We gotta
You
spend
have
some
a home.
time and talk about some of this money now.
definitely, definitely, because this recession is going to be real. This is going to make or break you. So we got to get
That's
into
right.
it. Yes.
Yeah, and
That's
the
right.
housing market, the prices are going down.
Oh,
So
that's good.
Rates
yeah,
going
price
up.
finally, the interest rates are creeping up. The prices are going down. But
But I
like
take the down
Melody could come
price.
back anytime. You
Mhm.
want to tell everybody about your show on Feel Good Talk? Go ahead.
Tuesdays at 8, I'm right here on Feel Good Talk Show, your mind, body, soul, and business.
All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. And
Yes,
so
8
we
p.m.
thank you. Melody, you're welcome to come back anytime. This is home for you. Lay, you at home, and we just appreciate everybody watching us. I was on my Choice TV, just kind of, looking at the Choice TV, what do you call it, the backstage or whatever. We had 113,000 people watch Choice TV in May. So, it's time to go hard and, get our names out there, get our brands out there, and, start making money. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on. We're here to educate. No, first we want to entertain you, enlighten you, and educate. So until next week, thank you guys for coming by. And we always end the show with, you know how we do, we tell everybody peace. And y'all ready?
Peace.
1, 2, 3.
Peace
Peace.
out.
And thank you for watching.
Peace.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.